Hey everyone, it's Pride again, bringing you another replay. This one is against egstrifeco versus scdpride. For Cheese 101 rule for today will be the 3-port banshee. So I'm going to teach you guys the 3-port banshee. You don't know what the 3-port banshee is? Well, essentially, you build 3 ports, you build a bunch of banshee, you attack, and you win. It's a good cheese. Usually a lot on the ladder, and this is against Strifeco, so he's a top tier Zerg. I think he is anyway. Anyway, he's in EG, so I assume that he's good. But that's totally irrelevant. Anyway, continuing on. Everything is pretty much normal, so I'm going to breeze through the main part so you don't get bored with me talking throughout the whole time. Alright, so basically 10 supply, pretty much normal. 10 supply, 12 racks, and 13 refinery. That's pretty much the outline, the fundamental of every single basics of every build. You just have to get 12, 10, 12, 15. Anyway, go ahead. Racks at 12, refinery at 13. This is when I usually like to scout. A lot of people like to scout when they start their barracks. Some people even scout even earlier than that, but I don't see no point scouting a Zerg too early because it's just irrelevant. Unless if they're 6-pulling you, but hopefully he doesn't 6-pull me. Well, it doesn't look like he's 6-pulling me, but anyway, disregard. Alright, so once you scout, pretty much I'm just scouting, see what he has. So it looks like he has a hatch going up. So it looks like a 15 hatch, early gas for speed, or maybe possibility roaches. So whenever they get gas, you can assume two things. They can either go for roaches or go for speed. But I assume that he goes for speed because that's pretty much normal for almost every Zerg. Anyway, continuing on, you're gonna produce. What I like to do is I wall off before I build my first marine. Why? So you can deny scouting, because you want to get that early second gas so your banshees aren't delayed more than it already is. So you're going to build supply first, supply at 15, and then build your 16th marine and 17th marine. And this is when you stop building marines for a little bit. Drop down a factory when you have the minerals. After the factory goes down, at 100 gas you build your factory. At 75 minerals, you're going to build your second gas. And then from here, you're just going to pump constant marines while not being supply blocked. So the key points of building supplies are 15 supply, 21 supply, and roughly around 27, 28 is when you build your third supply. And then you're good for a little bit. And then after that, it's just pretty much don't get supply blocked. But you're going to build constant marines. I made a slight variation to this build. Usually I reactor my barracks, but this time I reactor my Hellions so I can get one extra Hellion, because I realized like the new patch that's coming out, the auto repair SCVs that's inside the medevac won't be healing each other anymore, and it won't be healing anything else. So anyway, just going on, you're gonna pump out Hellions. And like I said, this is roughly when you build your supply. So I build my supply at 28 roughly. Constant produce of marines and constant produce of Hellions. Right after your factory's finished, you're going to drop down a starport. When your starport's finished, you're going to build the first medevac. Okay? So essentially, you're going to push out with 78 marines, 4 Hellions, and a dropship. Alright? So here I go, producing more stuff. And at the same time, this is when you constant produce SCVs. Don't stop building SCVs. It's just something that you shouldn't stop. Anyway, after you build your first medevac, once the medevac pops out, you want to tech lab the starport and drop down 2 more additional starport. A good thing to do is try to hide them. Like, don't build them right here. The point of the cheese is to not let them know that you're cheesing, because if they know that you're cheesing, then they can pretty much stop it pretty easily. So pretty much once the tech lab finishes, you're going to build your first banshee. So essentially this build, you're going to do a Hellion harass, elevator drop into 4-port or 3-port banshee when you have a total of 4 banshees. Okay, and what I did was I swapped, because there's no point of building any more Hellions. I'm just going to produce marines and banshees. So as soon as these finish, you want to tech lab as soon as you can, okay, while you're doing your little elevator drop. So here's my elevator drop, and as you can tell, it didn't work out too well. He has a lot of Zergling. That is a lot of Zergling. And look, I didn't have the best. He had the best surround on me, killed everything, and I essentially did no damage. And from the looks of it, I made him build a lot of Zerglings. Holy crap. Look, I'm ahead of him by workers. So if I put that command center, I would have been okay. But anyway, here I am producing my banshees. Clickety click click click. And while just constant produce of units. So if the banshee fails, you're going to do another all-in, which shouldn't fail. But if that's the case, there's always option 2 and option 3. 4, so forth and so on. Alright, from here you lay down. What I did was I saw a lot of zerglings, so I was preemptively preparing myself for a baling bus. So what I did was lay down more Raxus to have a complete wall off, while continue from here while I harass with my 4 banshees. And what I did was I put my rally point on the banshees to build more banshees for reinforcements. And here I go with my 4 banshees. So a good thing is he didn't overlord scout. That's bad on his part. So he did not know the 4 banshee was coming until it was like pretty much 10 seconds before he knew. So here he's trying to produce spores and it was just too late. And he only had 3 queens. It takes 8 shots to kill a queen. So 2 volleys of 4 banshees will kill a queen. Anyway, so from here you just pretty much snipe. And another thing to note, it takes a total of 4 spores to completely wall off to completely defend a hatch. So you have to have 4 spores on every single side. So as you can tell, I'm just pimping it away at this hatch. It's just dying slowly, die. And even with the spore in that location, I just move it up a little more, which I did. There you go. While continue from here on, you want to continue production. I got supply blocked, so this is what you shouldn't do. Anyway, this is where I put down an armory when I have enough gas. It really doesn't really matter when you want to build your armory, but just build it sometime soon, because you want to have a door or 2 when you push out with your next all in. But it looks like he's pretty much dead from here. I took out the hatch with 6. Here's 7th, and I'm building my 8th banshee. So from here I just harass what I can. I continue to try to take out the hatch again. He didn't cancel. That was bad on him. And I don't get why he built another hatch right here. That was kind of pointless. So here I go on this side, taking out this hatch. And with the amount of banshees I got, I could simply just attack these spores, which I did in the end. When I had, see, so I thought he was bailing butts to me. See, this is like the perfect wall. There's no way you can get through that. Anyway, you just try to get around. Okay, let me. Where is it? Come here, guys. See, look at how his spores are structured. That's why I walked around all the way here and I attacked his lair from here, forcing his spores to lift. So look, he lifted this spore. I attacked the spire. He lifted this spore. I attacked this spore. I attacked that spore, and he's pretty much dead. He has no anti-air. All he has is spore, where I can easily just walk around in circles and just start sniping stuff down, forcing him to lift the spore, because spore takes 6 seconds before they get burrowed down and they start shooting crap. 4 banshees should take out a spore before even the spore finished burrowing. But anyway, he's pretty much dead. I don't see how he can win from this. And look at here. You see all these marines and my Thors and all this crap that I'm building? This is my second all-in. If the other all-in fails, you just pull everything you got, 1A, and you should usually win. But anyway, he's forced to GG. He just left the game. But anyway, that's scdpride for you. But that's totally irrelevant. So just a recap of how to do the build. 10 supply, 12 racks, 13 refinery. Build 2 marines. Well, actually, you wall off. You build orbital at 15. You wall off, and then you build your first marine. You build your second marine. Once your second marine's done is when you should have enough gas. Put down your factory. When your factory is finished, or when you start your factory, you're gonna take your second gas when you have 75 minerals. From there, constant producer marines. Supply to note is at 15, 21, and 27. If you do not build it in that order, you will be supply blocked. Okay? You can build supply at 22. The reason why most people build at 21 because it's more comfortable, but I build at 20 usually. The reason why I build at 20, because I'm floating minerals, so I might as well build a supply. I mean, there's nothing else to do, and I'm floating minerals, and I just hate seeing like massive amounts of minerals early in the game. If you look at it right now, my minerals are always low. There's a reason for that. Okay? Once your factory finished, you want to make your reactor, build the Force 4 Hellions, and you're going to push out with 7 to 8 marines roughly. If you're constant on producing on marines, you should have around 7 to 8 marines once your medevac pops out. So you're going to attack with 7 marines, 4 Hellions, and a medevac, and you're going to push out, do an elevator drop, load in the Hellions first. Why the Hellions? Because Hellions counts as 4 units. Marines counts as 7 to 8, so it takes slightly longer. And then after you load your Hellions, you're going to load the Marines, and then you're going to try to get the least surface area you don't get surrounded, which I didn't do too well because he built so many Zerglings. Another thing to know, once the medevac is finished, you want to tech lab it as soon as you can, drop down 2 more starports. As soon as that tech lab finished, on that starport, you want to build your first Banshee. If you time it out right, you should have your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Banshee out at the same time, pushing out roughly around 850, and when you hit their base, no longer than 9 minutes. That's usually how it is. Because for a fast lair, most people do a late lair, but they start their spire roughly around 9:10, 9:20. So there's that little gap where you can snipe that lair. Because once that lair comes up, everything becomes so much more difficult. But if you're able to take down a hatch and their lair is just barely finished, or I mean the spire just barely finished, then you're good. You're golden. You're set. And remember this little elevator drop. Had he not built that many Zergling, he would have died right there. Had he drone hard, he would have completely. There has been cases where this little drop of mine killed around 12 to 13 drones, and from there, once the Banshee came, he literally had nothing. He had nothing because all he was doing was producing drones. He didn't have any anti-air. He didn't have that many queens. So usually, if you do the cheese correctly, they should only have 3 to 4 queens. I mean, if they see 3 ports, they're gonna put down like 6, 7 queens and lay down a good gajillion spores. But that's the build, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Shout out to Clan Water again. So remember, it's a new community for pretty much bronze up until to any level. Join the community. Just read around, and it's usually just for helping all the lower leagues how to get to rise to the top. The website's clanwater.com. That's clanwater.com, and also we have they also have a channel Water. Just go join there for some obs, chit chat, talk, whatever the case may be. Do it at your leisure, I guess. Anyway, this is Pride. I'm out.